Shalom Lloyd, welcome. Super excited to have you here. Everybody, this is the fabulous Shalom Lloyd, founder of the equally fabulous Naturally Tribal skincare brand. Hi, Shalom.
Hey, Denise, thank you so much for having me.
So, Shalom, let's get started. Naturally Tribal is an award winning brand. Congratulations on that. Um, and my understanding is that you started this brand in response to your son's eczema, which was quite severe.
That's right. Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was. I have been in the beauty industry for less than people might think, actually. And I have a lot of respect for people who've been in this industry for years because it's a really hard one. I'm a pharmacist by qualification and have worked in the pharma industry for the past 26 years. So this wasn't even under radar. But I went through 4 cycles of IVF, and on the fourth cycle, I was blessed with my twins. And one of them, Joshua, was born with really bad eczema. And it was really heartbreaking to
Mm,
watch this child just go through his scratch to you bleed moments. And I think it's that guilt you feel as a mom, and then layer on top of that pumping all the sort of chemicals through the IVF cycle and thinking, is it my fault? So he was prescribed steroids and emollients, but I just wanted to kind of go the natural route. I think I went a bit OCD and a bit scientific on Joshua, charting everything he ate to pinpoint, you know, lactose intolerance, just find everything out that I could. And I just started mixing in my kitchen using shea butter as a base, an ingredient that I honestly couldn't stand to start with because of my heritage, because of that smell when we're kids, share. Oh, but the fact is, it worked. We grew up with amazing skin. Sometimes going to school really shiny, right? But it was tried, tested, um, that whole it defines for me what ancestral beauty is all about, really, because it is part of my roots. And I started mixing in my kitchen, complete fluke, as I usually say, stumbled across the right formulation using ingredients that I kind of found to have or researched to have great properties, reaching antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties, reducing redness, itching, and all those things.
mm.
And 3 days after, Josh's skin started to become what it should have been from birth. And that's how Naturally Tribal was born.
Oh, amazing. Because I was going to ask you, as a pharmacist, I was going to go, okay, so pharmacist, how did you end up looking at something as um, ancestral as shea butter? Because you could have you looked at so many different, I'm sure, so many different additives that you could have put in, and that you're exposed to all those different things. So I was curious about this sort of the shea butter journey, um, and how did you know that it was going to be one of those things that would actually help his eczema?
It wasn't, I didn't start the journey thinking, oh, shea butter. What I did know was that, and it wasn't anything, to be honest, to start with, to do with my pharmaceutical background. I was just a mother who'd gone through IVF, knowing that I'd pumped chemicals into myself, wanted to find a solution for this little boy, and
Mm,
made a decision for it to be chemical free out of fear, if I'm being honest.
okay.
Now, the ingredients were very, very important because the pharmaceutical side comes in when you think about efficacy. And when you research, and I think this is where this sort of scientific side took over that I was really grateful for, is the research. Finding out that this ingredient that you didn't particularly like as a child is one of the few ingredients out there that's a humectant, occlusive, and emollient all in one. And finding out the properties, the history of it, where it comes from, how
Mm,
it's made, looking at the analysis and what's in it, what's the level of free fatty acids, what's the moisture content, and what do these things do. So it was from an emotional perspective in terms of my ancestry, but also factual based and scientific perspective that made this ingredient the base of everything I do at Naturally Tribal. Then you start to infuse that with other things that other ingredients that would actually pack a punch as well, particularly complement this superfood that is shea butter. And that really was really how it started, is looking at, and it's things that are tried and tested. In this day and age, we're always looking for that sexy new thing. But bearing in mind that these superfoods, whether it's baobab today or argan oil tomorrow or shea butter, there are so many ingredients that I in Africa, I'm proud of my heritage, that are only made um, famous or put on the pedestal in the Western world because that's what people have seen in the Western world. There's so much out there. And that was my intention. What else is out there? Natural remedies that have been used for centuries, for generations, for ailments and skin conditions. And I was totally convinced of that. And it also had to be from the earth, as in natural and raw, because this is a newborn child.
Yeah, I love that. Um, so your brand was born. So what made you decide, okay, I'm going to share this with other people? Because you could have just kept it for yourself.
And honestly, I was kind of tempted to because I was working full time in the pharma industry. So, and I'd worked my way up from sort of junior level or to very senior role. So it was quite intense. And my husband would say half the time you lived on a plane, and I did. But when any new mothers or fathers out there would kind of testify to this, that anything wrong with your child, you go online, Google's your best friend. You go online, you start to research to get more information, and you join so many groups, and then you realize that it's not just you. There are thousands of people out there who are going through or have gone through what you've gone through or going through what you're going through. And then you hear things like there's 900 million people on this planet who suffer from a skin condition. It's a disability that is not really talked about very much. And then you hear that our very own NHS spends over 700 million on skin conditions per annum. And you start to think, I can have impact here. You have two things where I can have impact and help people like me, but I can also have a business.
Yeah.
And it went hand in hand for me.
Amazing. Amazing. And now you're an award-winning brand. Having a look at your website, it's like, oh my goodness, what haven't you won? Which is fantastic. Congratulations. How did it feel when you got your first few awards?
I can't even describe the feeling. Awards to me are just that sort of stamp of well done. Keep going. We see you, recognize you. The ones that mean a lot to me are the ones that we haven't necessarily applied for, but have been recognized for the work we're doing. And even when we've applied for it and been chosen, amongst thousands of applicants, it's that validation. Because like I said, I haven't been in the industry for very long. And people just assume because I have a pharmaceutical background, you kind of slip nicely into no, this industry is cutthroat. So when you come into it and you start to get recognized and when you appreciate it and you think, damn, I'm doing something right here. And it's being seen and it's being recognized. So it's a big deal. Don't take any of them for granted.
So Shalom, you started off with primarily body care products. And then suddenly I got a memo telling me that you were bringing out some face care. Is it, you pronounce it Mimo?
Mimo, yes.
Okay. And you've got the beautiful face serum and you've got the cleansing balm. So what triggered this?
Oh, goodness. We're an indie brand and everything for me is an evolution. I believe in baby steps. I am a businesswoman and I understand when people say mass production is scale up, but I decided to do things a bit differently. And there was a reason why my brand started. I call it the Joshua effect, that triggered all of this. And our range increased to 3 different types of body foods. And it made sense to have a body wash, exfoliate, the whole exfoliate, wash, moisturize, completing that cycle. And we were very much customer-led or consumer-led, as it were. You keep getting the question, when you know that, okay, I need to have a pipeline, what would I do next? It's driven by the customers. So you keep getting the question, can I use your body foods on my face? Can I use this on my face? Can I use the body wash on my face? And of course you can, because we've developed something that can be used all over the body. But knowing full well that the face is the most exposed and the most sensitive part and deserves the attention, it was, I guess, a natural progression to go, from the neck up, since we've battled the neck down, as we say.
Yeah.
So Mimo is very, very special. Our brand is British African, British Nigerian, whatever people choose to call it. We pay homage to both our dual heritage. And our African heritage, you can see it, feel it, taste it in the names of our products. Yara in the Hausa language in Nigeria means children. Iya means queen. Agu means lion. Mimo means holy, sacred, pure in Yoruba language. As soon as I heard that, I thought, that's the name of our facial range. It's finding something that is sacred, this part of the window to our soul. It's not just the eyes, I think it's the face. When people talk about skincare, Denise, they actually talk about the face more than the body.
They
So
do.
we wanted to bring something special. 2 years it took us to get that formulation spot on. And yeah, Mimo packs a punch.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, not that I have shares in the company or anything, people, but but that facial serum it's very lush. It's got a lovely rich texture to it, but it actually absorbs into the skin. It doesn't sit on the surface. And because sometimes with sort of rich, lush oils, they can really, you feel as though they're just sitting there, but actually this is absorbed. Leaves your skin with a beautiful satin finish. It's absolutely gorgeous. So congratulations on
No,
that.
thank you. No, I told you, having that experience of as a child being sort of plastered with shea butter and having that shiny moment, you kind of know what you want and what you don't want. And with the cleansing balm with Mimo, I wanted people to wonder, is this a lotion? Is this a gel? Is this a cream? Is this an oil? And then with the serum, yes, they're oils, beautiful oils. But when people put it on, you feel like, was that an oil I just put on my face? Because it just absorbs so beautifully, but you feel your skin really healthy and just feeding.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it plays well with others, so you don't get
Absolutely.
any of that annoying pilling. It just, you can put your sunblock on top and it's like flawless.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing. So excuse me, when is the cleanser coming out? The liquid cleanser, the wash-off cleanser? Because you've got the
Oh,
cleansing
goodness.
balm.
I mean, we've got the cleansing balm, and this is a very good question, Denise, because one of the things I'm really, really passionate about is waterless beauty. You look at our products, our body foods, our body scrubs, our body scrubs are very, very quirky. We say to people, you dry scrub with our body scrub, you don't put any water in it because it's all natural, no preservatives, so don't get water in it. I believe so much in waterless beauty. So for me, the creating the facial range, Mimo gives you the full package where people are so used to, oh, I want a liquid thing that can foam will wash off my face. The cleansing balm was formulated to cleanse and nourish, rinse with water and serum up. So yeah, watch this space. There'll be more innovative. Innovation is the key here. There are more innovative and quirky things coming up. We do quirky really well.
Fantastic. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to sort of seeing what comes next, the exfoliating product, whether I'm not even going to ask you what that's going to look like because I'm sure it's going to be something fabulous.